Hey, my name's Zordo. Welcome to the channel. Join me on some little prep that I want to do before getting into the main series episode of my main series. That was good English. So basically, I've been thinking about making more unedited videos, just me talking about myself, Minecraft, some things, you know, whatever happens to happen. And I've gotten the push very recently by Slip. I'll leave a link to the channel in the description if I don't forget. So very recently, well actually this morning I woke up at 3:30, not willingly, I just woke up, and once I couldn't fall back to sleep, I listened to a Slip video and he specifically called me out. Call me out sounds aggressive. He didn't call me out. But he suggested like, hey, maybe you should try out like doing videos in the style that I am, where he does daily videos. So that was pretty much the nudge that I needed to get going. So I figured I'm gonna get some things ready for my next main series episode that's more like cinematic and paced and slightly planned. But while we're doing that, I'd like to have a little conversation about how I kind of ruined my old Forever World. Now, ruined is a bit maybe intense for a word, but it works nicely in a title and thumbnail. But actually, before getting onto that, let's go see. I need some ink sacks because I've been making book and quill for each and every episode of the main series that we've been doing. Here we are. So this currently is my new world, and I would like to say it's my forever world, but I just haven't had the gall to say that. Just because, like I said, I had a forever world that was supposed to be a forever world, but I haven't played in it in... Actually, I'd have to check my YouTube Studio app to tell, but I haven't played in that world for a while, and it took... I kind of gave up on it, I'd say like 2 or 3 times. But like without actually committing to giving up, which sounds like a weird sentence to say, but I kind of developed the playstyle and made some choices, partially because of YouTube. You know, I do enjoy doing YouTube and I want to keep doing it, but it did make me do some things that, you know, in hindsight made me not enjoy the world as much. But it's some of those things that you can't really like know before trying it yourself. And we're all different, so like what we want in our playstyles is always going to differ between, you know, person to person. Do we have any feathers in here? Yes, we do. I also had ink sacks. So we have this, and I'm gonna need an actual book, so we need leather, and do we have paper? If not, then we have a bunch of sugarcane out back, but we have paper, and we actually already have a book, so we can just put this back for now, and I think with this we should be good to make our book and quill. Yes, we are. So for example, we have our episode 4 book here, which looks like this. And we're going to put this back, so we're going to name this one episode 5. And just so I don't forget, I'm actually going to put today's date in this book as the, how did I format that? Let's just copy this. We're going to put today's date in it because I actually recorded the intro just before starting this. So what day we are? Day 187 in this world. We'll leave this here just so I can remember to put the date. And there we go. Put that there. Next, I think I'll just clean up my inventory before getting some more materials. I need cobblestone for that retaining wall over there. But I don't have much. I wasted a lot of... Well, not really. I placed a bunch down in the nether and then died. So, yeah. So as I was saying, yeah, I made some choices that ultimately I don't think I would say that I regret doing them because I enjoyed that world. And I actually went in the other day to take a photo and I felt the wave of nostalgia, so I don't like regret the world or anything. But anyways, I'll just get into it. So the main culprit, I would say, of the reason I quit the world is mods. Kind of pressured by YouTube, but I would have ended up trying mods anyways. But YouTube, you know, did make me want to make nice looking things because you're sharing it with the world. And I still want to do that. But anyways, there are probably other little things that might pop up as we're talking about it. Maybe I can mention them in future episodes. But one of the main things is just the cycle that I had created for myself that I don't think is a bad cycle. But once again, probably not for me long term. Otherwise, I don't think I would have gotten tired of it as much as I did. But then again, it's a weird cycle that I kind of actually want to do it again. I don't know. It's weird. Maybe it's the phases thing. So that cycle was basically what I would do is I would go into Axiom, into Creative, and in the later episodes, assisted by Axiom, and would plan out builds, and basically, per episode, I wanted to have either a build or at least a decent sized project in place. And there is a certain satisfaction in doing that. For me anyways, that was really, really fun. Because if you planned out the video, then you could, before starting, know what materials you need to get, plan out where you want to put the thing that you're going to build, and then build it, and then that made the pacing of the videos really easy to plan. Because basically you just start, it's like intro, here's a project, let's get the materials, let's build the build, do the finishing touches, and then there you go. One episode in the bank. And then you could spend time working on cinematics and pacing and all that extra stuff. And ultimately, I do think for viewers, well, that's not true because views say otherwise, but ultimately I do feel like that, at least on the surface, does seem like it would make a better video. But like Slip mentioned in his video, which I'll try to find the correct one and link it down below. Metrics wise, and even for big YouTubers, that seems to not necessarily be the case anymore. For myself, I can't really talk to how it used to be versus how it is now. I'm a very young YouTuber, all things considered, and well, young in the sense of I haven't been on YouTube for very long. I think it's been a year and a half, maybe. I think a little bit less than that, because I think it's been a year and a half, maybe 2 years that I've started playing Minecraft, but all things considered, not an eternity. So yeah, I feel like I might have diverted from my main point, but but anyways, and that was like the main, I guess you could call it like the YouTube loop that I had built for myself. And something that's sneaky that happens with Axiom is it's really easy and really fun to go really big. So like you spend some time in creative, you plan on a build, and then you use a bunch of materials because like, oh, you have access to everything. And then all of a sudden you go and grab your Lightmatica tool and then grab that schematic and you have like 30,000 blocks to get. And that changes the game. And the reason that that's a problem for me, and I want to like mention that I don't have anything against creators that actually do that. Like I did it, and I don't have anything against anyone using Lightmatica and going with that kind of play style. I don't think it's necessarily cheating or anything, so that's not the argument. And if that is your argument, you can feel that way, but I'm not going to have the argument with you. But yeah, with my current life circumstances, even though I want this, like I'm doing it for fun, but like let's not lie to ourselves, I would like it to be successful, and I think it'd be awesome if at some point a bit of YouTube could supplement my income, because like who wouldn't? For example, and getting back into my life circumstances, I have returned to school since last September, and since then my work hours have gone down. Obviously I've gone back to college for a second degree, but I still work. So I have work, I have the college degree, and yeah, that takes up a lot of time. I have family life that, not saying that I have to take care of it sounds funny, but like you do. And I also want to spend time with my family life, which for the most part is just me and my fiance. But yeah, that takes time. And in terms of studying, you know, I'm pretty studious. And I went back to really gain skills and become proficient at the subject that I'm studying, which is program is computer sciences. I mostly care about programming and that kind of sphere, so like building apps and stuff. I'm only in my second semester, so I haven't had like the full experience of all the things that can be built and maintained and stuff. But yeah, all that to say that I'm going to spend time studying and working on projects because that is like the path for a career, ideally, right? So all that to say that for YouTube, it became hard, especially if I wanted to have videos out semi-regularly, so like not one video out every 2 months. It was hard to keep up the frequency, even if it wasn't like super frequent, when you spend a few days in real life, or even a week sometimes, depending on how much time I had to play, planning out a build that was huge, and then another few days to a week gathering the materials, and then actually another few days to a week building the thing. And that was just like the prerequisites in my mind to have like a competent episode. And thus, it informed how I played Minecraft. So at some point I recognized that pattern and noticed that I was like enjoying it less. I would always enjoy the end result of the episodes, but it became harder to actually enjoy making the episodes and just playing the game. So what I thought of doing was perhaps just like ditching Litematica and Axiom and only playing purely in survival. But then I came into the issue, and like, once again, a lot of these issues are very player specific. So like, this is talking about me. I guess it might be a cautionary tale if you might relate to me, to be careful. The problem is that once I started trying to do that, it's kind of hard and it was intimidating for me to like build something freehand next to something that was pre-planned in Litematica. It just felt like I had this, I guess it's falling into the trap of comparison, but it was hard to like not feel like there's no way I can measure up to what is clearly right beside me that is clearly superior, but like it should be superior given the context of how it was built. Now I could have just moved to another area in my world, but I get that suggestion and I did try it out, but I just always wanted to come back to my main area because willingly or not, I was attached to my main areas. So that's one of the big reasons. It's not like, I probably could expand on it a bit more, but that's like the main issue that I end up creating for myself, is that I really am proud of those builds that I built with Axiom and then rebuilt in creative, in survival, especially like the later ones, my monolith and my end base builds. I really enjoyed, especially my end base. I was really getting into being there and just to bunker around the end portal. I do miss those. And another hurdle was that I was missing out on the drops, and like, feel how you want about the drops. Maybe you're not excited for them, maybe you are. That's another discussion. I'm not necessarily the most hyped up person for drops, but I do enjoy following and updating the game and having access to things. A lot of the people that I watch do update their game and actually like were able to do so before me. So a lot of the enjoyment for me is, yes, watching other people like play and discover things, but a lot of the enjoyment for me comes from actually discovering things myself. So if I just watch someone discover everything, by the time I actually get my hands on it, it's less exciting if I know all of the behavior. But once again, with mods, what happens? They don't update at the same pace as the actual game updates. So then it became like a whole process of either waiting after mods, and then even when they were up to date, well, then it's okay. Now I have to migrate the world and update the mods, but sometimes some of them aren't up to date while others are. And sometimes the mods are up to date, but their dependencies are not. A whole process, which once again, when you're limited on time, doesn't feel great to spend a week just dealing with that. And I didn't break major things, but some things were broken, mainly, and this is probably the one that kind of like pushed me over the edge to start a new world, is that I had a mod some time back, and I had quite a bit of mods in the other world. I had a mod some time back that allowed me to make item frames invisible. And I guess at some point it didn't update, so I didn't update it, and I just never got around to re-updating it. And what that did is all the things that I had in those invisible item frames just disappeared. But what I had in those invisible item frames were quite valuable and things I spent quite a lot of time getting and was happy to have. Mainly, all of the armor trims I had collected, like the silence ones, and that was the one that hurt the most, was the silence armor trim. So all my armor trims, I had farms that, you know, this isn't a big thing, but I had like automatic, well, not automatic farms, sorry. I had like redstone farms for carrots, potatoes, and wheat that I had like an invisible item frame, and it had the carrot here. So basically I would grab that carrot and then activate the farm and then put the carrot back. But all these things that had in item frames disappeared. So yeah, I kind of broke some things, and this series is pretty much vanilla. I do have mods on, but all I have is the wavy cape, which really I don't I don't know. The wavy cape, and I have flashback and camera utils, so I can do stuff like this. But that's about it. Nothing that affects the gameplay. And I have like this week been wanting to go back and try like building with Axiom and stuff. But I also know that part of that is just me getting a bit self-conscious about my builds. I have this one here. So far, there's no other actual structure that I built in this world, and I think I'm getting... I want to build another one, but I'm getting a bit in my head in terms of what the quality is going to be. So I'm trying to resist that urge. So... yeah, what was I saying? I think that about covers it. I have other things, but those are the main things. So I guess what this could be is just me like getting this off my chest and thinking out loud. But maybe this could serve as a cautionary tale for some of you. If you do have a forever world, or if you do want to start a forever world and you want to experiment with some things, if those things will affect your world in a way that either the world cannot recover from, or that you can't turn back on, or that you mentally cannot like turn back from, meaning like for myself, I had a hard time moving and committing to moving to a faraway place without like the old stuff to be able to start anew. I had to start a whole new world. It just felt more right to me. So if you want to try mods that change the gameplay maybe, or even if you want to try planning things out in creative and then rebuilding them in survival, just maybe think about testing that out in another world or something before committing it 100% to your forever world. Once again, maybe it won't bother you, maybe it's just a me problem, but on the off chance that it could save your world and just make you enjoy the game more, just maybe think about it. I think that's all I have to say. Hopefully, I was coherent. And if you made it this far, then I'm guessing you enjoyed it somewhat. So, hey, maybe stick around for the next one. Leave a like, maybe subscribe. I'm calling this mini-series a weekly dose of Minecraft. Like I mentioned earlier, the guys at Forevercraft have pretty much inspired me. Plato, I think, yeah, he used to do a daily series. Right now it's Slip who's doing a daily series. And he kind of like encouraged me to actually commit to it. Well, commit to it. He didn't force me or anything, but encourage is probably the right word. So we're calling it the weekly dose of Minecraft. That way I might actually, on the next episode, be in my Techtopia world. Maybe it'll be in creative, who knows. So if you haven't made it this far, I would like to know your thoughts about this in the comments, because forever worlds are still like a big topic, and it was a very popular topic not too long ago, and now I have been seeing pushbacks against it and like, you know, pros and cons. So I like your opinion. Hopefully this helps and someone or just gets you thinking. So yeah, thank you for being here. I'll see you on the next one, and I'll be working on the next actual main series episode in the meantime. So see you next week. Oh yeah, that's what I wanted to mention. We're calling it weekly doses of Minecraft, but maybe, just maybe, we'll have multiple doses a week. Who knows? Anyways, I'll see you next time. Have a good one. See ya.